Alright, so Blizzard has officially announced 8.3 because the dev team just loves to mess with my video schedule. So instead of talking about Medivh like I planned today, we get to talk Whispers because you knew there'd be new cryptic text from one of N'Zoth's many minions or N'Zoth himself. Just this time, it's a familiar face back at it again.
N'Zoth, I journey to ny'alotha.
Hi Il'gynoth, nice to see you again. And you heard right, loyal viewer, if you haven't seen Il'gynoth, that big mound of tree goop, is back at it again with more stuff for me and everyone else to look at. But before I start on his many prophecies, I want to make two things clear. There will be spoilers for 8.3. You have been warned. And where there are spoilers, there will also be speculation. Take everything I say, as well as everything other people say, with a grain of salt. I cannot stress this enough. Things can change. Things have different meanings. 8.3 is not live yet. Stuff's probably going to change. Take nothing as fact until it's proven. Now, Il'gynoth has 7 new things for us to decipher. Wildhead has been kind enough to post them. You can find a link to all of them and other things in the description. But the first whisper, going by Wildhead's order, is as followed. Before the last shadow falls, the father of sleep shall savor his feast. Now, I don't know about you, but I immediately, after reading it, thought about N'Zoth. That this father of sleep it refers to is actually just the old god, considering N'Zoth and his minions have been described as sleeping multiple times in the past. But then I dug more. I browsed the wiki. I started reading tweets, looking at different things, and anything that could have mentioned sleep. And, well, I found something you might not have even heard about because of the source. Something that is so off the radar, even I didn't even think of it until the red shirt guy, the same guy from BlizzCon, that hunk of a man, tweeted about a Loa named Muzala, or something like that. I'll put the pronunciation on the screen. It's weird. Now you might be like, who the hell is this Muzala guy? Well, Muzala is a Loa of death. And you might be like, wait, hold on. No, Bwonsamdi is the Loa of death. What? Who is this guy? Well, let me point something out to you. No. There are many Loa, many we still haven't seen, each worshipped by different troll tribes. Just the Zandalari pantheon is the most well-known, and their Loa are also the Loa of other tribes, much like the Darkspear, for example, who worship Bwonsamdi. Anyways, this Muzala is exclusively worshipped by the Sandfury of Zul'Farrak, the only tribe that's essentially out of Bwonsamdi's jurisdiction, because, you know, death has jurisdictions. Now, Muzala, honestly, he deserves a video of his own, which I'm considering, but he has been described as the father of sleep. And there's also an interesting quote surrounding this Loa of death, and it comes from the second Traveler book in the Traveler series, Traveler, the Spiral Path. The quote reads, "Not yet, son of Thorn, not yet. This is not the day. The day comes. It comes, but Muzala will not engage you here or now. Our battle is yet to come, yet to come. But it will come, child. It will come. And if you lose that battle, Muzala feasts on all of Azeroth. All of Azeroth. All of Azeroth. All of Azeroth." As you might be aware, Il'gynoth's quote references both a father of sleep and a feast. That, and the fact that there's rumors and leaks and quotes and theories of 9.0 dealing with the forces of death, this could be something. Keep it in mind as we go forward onto 8.3 and 8.9. The second of Il'gynoth's quotes, "The Golden One claims a vacant throne. The crown of light will bring only darkness." Clearly, at least to me, that this Golden One is Caelia Menethil, and the throne she takes is the one she has by birthright. As the last living, well, technically not living because she's dead, Menethil, Caelia will assume leadership of the leaderless Forsaken after Sylvanas was ousted. The very people her family once ruled over. The very people that are willing to follow her. Any arguments against it, I don't understand, but that's only half the quote. It mentions that the crown of light, her light, will bring only darkness, which, if you've half a brain and paid attention to the last expansion and this, the light is not a good force anymore. It's not overarchingly good. from Zera to the Draenei of Alternate Draenor the Light, has proven to be this wicked force, just like the Shadow, if their demands are not met. So say that Kalia begins reforming different Forsaken into these holy undead everyone is insisting are going to be an allied race that makes more followers for the light. It makes more converts. It makes more soldiers. Well, let me put it to you this way. If the light ever decides that we, the people of Azeroth, should serve it, and only it, there shall be a war, and we might just have to fight many old allies, such as the Lightforged and these holy Forsaken. The third quote by Ilgi: "When their mistress beckons, 9 ravens take flight. Each seeks a prize to earn her favor." I'll be honest, I have no clue. This mistress honestly could be anyone. It could be a Jara, a Sylvanas, a Naru maybe, a Loa. It could be anything. And I've tried to do some digging on what a raven could symbolize, and in Greco-Roman antiquity, they're said to be a symbol of bad luck and were the messengers of the gods in the mortal worlds. And in the Hebrew Bible and Judaism, a raven is an example of the god's gracious provision for all of his creatures. And in late antiquity and in the Middle Ages, the raven was a protector, a sign of God, the watchful eyes of those faithful. Now, I could go on about what these ravens mean in many different cultures, but they're usually a symbol of a god or someone powerful, someone with influence. And if I had to bet Bunny, I think that these 9 ravens would be servants of someone powerful with influence, maybe Helia, the technical god of the underworld. Because if you look at her story, there are references to a champion that once wielded the war swords of the Valajar and hunted the greatest of heroes only to drag them back to Helheim and serve their new master. And this champion did this to gain Helia's favor. It makes sense if you think about it, but I'm going to need more time to think on it and think it over. All that. Maybe I'll make another video on it, but moving on to the next whisper. "The vassal of life disguises treachery. Beware the eyes of green." The most obvious choice here is Alexstrasza, but it says vassal. Alexstrasza is not a vassal. For those who are unaware of what a vassal is someone who rules over something, usually land, but is also someone who answers to a higher power. Alexstrasza does not answer to anyone regarding life. She is the Lifebinder, the ruler of the Red Dragonflight, and technical leader of all the Dragonflights. That is not a vassal. Instead, I think that it'd be more likely to be Marithra, a child of Ysera, the sister of Alexstrasza. But maybe that's just my thought, only because of the mention of green eyes, which, because of Marithra's kin with the Green Dragonflight, you can kind of connect the dots on that one. Green eyes, Green Dragonflight, Plus, she has an influence in the Emerald Dream since Ysera's death and has come into contact with the Void and the Nightmare on many occasions, even enlisting us in helping her remove some in 8.2. That puts her in the range of risk, of treachery. Perhaps this one whisper isn't a mere telling, but perhaps it's a warning. Il'gynoth's next whisper: 5 lanterns, now darkened. The flame they seek will light the Master's way. This whisper is a callback of sorts to Il'gynoth's Legion whisper.
5 keys to open our way. 5 torches to light our path.
Which, if you couldn't guess, is a reference to the pillars of creation, the ones that were used to shut the tomb of Sargeras. Now, we know of one that's already been used for other purposes, that being the Tidestone of Golganeth, being used to split the sea and allow us free reign of Nazjatar, but by the sounds of Il'gynoth's words, it sounds like the rest might be coming into play soon, maybe in 8.3 or 8.3.5, if there is one, or maybe 9.0, but honestly, who can say for certain, but they are apparently a part of N'Zoth's plan, so you can probably hope to see them soon enough. The second to last whisper, we're almost done, I promise. The blind queen wields a scepter of bone. From the deep, she calls forth doom. Well, this is one of those where it honestly could be anything, and my first guess would probably be Helia, who, as I said earlier, is the ruler of the underworld, and if she's calling forth doom from the deep, well, you can probably get the picture. The only thing that makes me hesitant of my guess of it being Helia is the blind queen part. Are we talking a literal blind queen, a metaphorical Blind Queen? Does she have damage to her eyes now, or is she blind because she's going down the wrong path? Maybe it's that she won't accept Il'gynoth's master as the ultimate ruler, making her blind, so to speak. It could also be Azshara, who is blind because, as we know, she follows power. Power is blinding. Or maybe she's just blind now, considering that she lived after the Eternal Palace, or maybe it's something along those lines. Honestly, your guess is as good as mine on this one. And then, the last whisper. The cunning ones kneel before 6 masters, but serve only one. Honestly, it kind of reminds me of us. We, the player, have sided with the light, the void, death, life, chaos, order. I honestly think that this whisper might be directed towards not just anyone, but us. If you remember, way back when, who knows how long ago now, there was an idea of an expansion that involved all the cosmic forces going to war, and it was based off of a whisper of ny'alotha.
6 seats at the high table. 6 mouths that hunger. One will consume all others.
Now, let me hit you with it. Could this whisper be talking about us? Could this whisper imply that we, the players, are going to have to pick a side, a cosmic side, in a war that could redefine the entire known universe? It's just a thought, really, but what do you think? Do you like my ideas regarding Il'gynoth's whispers? Do you see them happening soon, or maybe sometime in the future? Maybe you have your own ideas, which I would love to hear about, as well as all questions, comments, and concerns regarding this video, WoW, or its lore, in the comment section down below. Thanks for watching.